Hello, everyone. So, guess what? Tornado warning in California. Yeah, I don't know. California's on something. This is the second tornado this week or weekend, that rather. Um, I I'm surprised too, but that's why I went live, huh? I had to go live because, of course, there's this tornado that might be on the ground near Corcoran in California. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but we do have to be careful with this possible storm near Tipton and Pixley. This was unexpected for me, too. I had no idea that the storm developed, but this storm actually was developed a little bit earlier, a few moments ago. It had a tornado warning on it earlier, then it got expired. They didn't let it expire, they expired it manually, and now we have yet another tornado warning as the rotation has picked up. You can see the history of this cell. It has managed to last for quite a while. It has redeveloped. It's not the strongest rotation. I'm unsure if they'll get rid of it again, but we still have to worry about this. It is strange because in this area, it's one of those weird areas where there's one of those dry lakes, those lakes that sometimes appear when wet conditions occur. So sometimes, even though these areas are populated, it's a lake, so you don't think people are populating these regions. Or at least it's a flood bed where there's conditions that would be close enough to a lake, and it's easy to flood. But this isn't a flooding concern, this is a tornado concern. So everybody in Tipton and Pixley needs to be in shelter because of this surprising tornado that snuck up on us. And we still have to watch this, as this does have concerning rotation, so who knows? We really do have to see this possible storm. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. I'll cover more. So also, this is not the only tornado threat that we're seeing very soon, but I'll be right back. And I'm back, everyone. I apologize for that. I went to the restroom. I'm a human, so of course. Alright, this rotation has kind of died out since I've seen it last, so I don't know if this tornado, because it has recycled. It has developed before, and it has come back now. So, sorry, that was just my Discord server. It had come back before, but now it's gone again. So we don't know how many times this thing is going to recycle or basically redevelop. But in the meantime, we do have to talk about this threat that is upcoming, that is not currently happening. First, we do have to briefly go over some other warnings that are currently within the area. First of all, we have this warning, a special marine warning for possible water spouts near Santa Cruz, California. And you can see there's a few tiny areas of rotation. They're not very concerning, but they're still possibly bringing something on, well, not the ground, rather, the ocean. So we still have to worry for these possible water spouts, tornadic water spouts that are occurring off the coast of Santa Cruz. But the main concern is this current tornado warning near Pixley and Porterville. And this does have a small couplet, I do have to say. Very tiny. But it does have, well, actually, no, that's not where the storm is. So that can't be the couplet. This has to be it, and this isn't really concerning. There's a little something with it. I'm not saying there's nothing, but we really don't have to worry about this anymore, as it doesn't look like this tornado warning is still in use. There is radar-indicated rotation still, as the National Weather Service says, so we still have to watch. No CC drop, it seems like, which would mean that debris is being lofted into the air, which is inevitable with a tornado. But we have to see. I mean, it's possible that there is something on the ground, but we'll notice when it comes up. There is a little something now developing east of Pixley, but that is not part of the storm. That means if it doesn't match up with the reflectivity, that means it isn't caused by a storm. That's just rotating air, which is not tornadic if it's not part of a storm. It's just air that is going in circles because, yes. I don't know how else to explain it. Sorry, guys, I'm eating my dinner right now, so just know if you're going to hear me munching on something, it's just my dinner. I'm doing it bad. I have returned. This is not rotation matching up with the reflectivity, and that's a little interesting. No, that's not in the storm itself, so that means it can't be based on rotation. That means that just has to be maybe circulating air. Sometimes it isn't even circulating air. Sometimes the radar is long, maybe because something's blocking it, or it's at an angle where it thinks that air. Basically, what happens with this, it's basically air that is moving on the ground and air that is moving in the higher elevations. So it perceives that as rotation, but it's really just air moving. It's just air moving at different latitudes in the same direction. They just perceive that as rotation. So that's what this is called. It's called side lobe contamination, and that's usually when the radar has a bad perspective on a storm. So we do have this tornado warning still in effect, possibly because of this, possibly still because of that rotation that originally was there, which is now completely gone, but could recycle, who knows. We still have a lot to worry about with this storm, but don't worry, really, and it's gone. And just like that, it's gone. Now, This is exactly what we thought just 10 minutes ago, because it got expired and then bam, just like that, it redeveloped and it got another warning on it. So we still have to be aware of this storm. It is still a supercell, which basically means it has this supercellular structure. It basically looks like one lone storm in a cluster of many other storms, even though this is really the only storm of its kind. So we really don't have too much to worry about, but this could recycle and produce another tornado just like it did before. It could do it again. Also, of course, tornadoes can develop in flat or mountainous climates. So if California is mountainous, that's not going to affect it. That's a myth. Tornadoes can form in mountains, even if it's less likely, because really wind shear, it's just affected by the mountains. It's sometimes blocked. Those airs that can be circulating is blocked sometimes by the mountains, but that doesn't always occur. Tornadoes can always find a way. So we still have to watch this. At the moment, this is heading towards Porterville, and realize Porterville, if you live in Porterville, that this may have produced a tornado earlier, and it could again, but at the moment, you are safe. So, just remember that. No one has to be in shelter at the moment, since there's no tornado warnings at the current moment, but we still have to worry about it a little, just because of its potential. Sorry about the brief pause. I don't know, I was just contemplating what's going to happen with the storm. Still looks like a supercell. Some rotation, but I don't know, I was just contemplating what's going to happen with the storm. Oh, sorry. I unmuted the setup I have for my live stream, so you could hear it in the background. Anyways, this tornado warning is gone, but we still have these maybe possible water spouts off the coast of Monterey and Santa Cruz. We really don't know. It doesn't look concerning at the moment, but we still have the possibility for maybe a recycling tornado. But this actually leads me into what I really wanted to talk about. First, we do have to get into the snow part of this. There is a snow sector of this same storm that is producing the tornado warnings in California. Of course, we do have a bit of a special weather statement based on snow. It says a band of snow was moving southeast, approaching I-15 and I-86. This is in Blackfoot and American Falls in Idaho, which was actually near a small risk area that we had in Utah today, a marginal risk in the SPC outlook, which we did have mostly for winds. We had some damaging winds based on this front that was moving through with this system, which would cause some damaging winds. And we did have a few severe thunderstorm warnings, which I was attempting to go live for, but realized that it wasn't quite concerning enough to go live for. Of course, tornadoes are much more concerning than I guess you could say with these storms in Idaho. in Utah, I meant, just because they were only producing winds of 70 miles per hour than winds perhaps of 100 miles per hour. There's a difference there. But you can see there is some of these snowstorms, and these are causing snow squalls. Basically, what snow squalls are, they're basically systems that cause snow in a very short period of time. They're basically causing snow out suddenly. It comes suddenly and very quickly in the blink of an eye. It like suddenly appears out of nowhere. That's basically what occurs with these snowstorms. So we do have to worry about them because they could immediately cause low visibility to see if they're driving. They'll suddenly turn the roads white, where you can't see them, and that is a concern with the system. So we do have to worry about that. Of course, this is not the only area with snow squalls. You can see there are other regions with snow squalls, which is why these special weather statements, a band of heavy snow here near Roundup, Montana, in Rygate, Harlowton, and other regions such as Rapogee and Sawmut, and also towards Judith Gap. All these regions are under a special weather statement for possible snow that is heading towards their areas. Realize snow can be fun, but if you're driving, it's not fun because you can't see anything ahead of you. So be careful with that. Also up here near Carter and Fort Benton, there's another area of heavy snow, which is also can be considered as a snow squall. So be careful with the storm if you're driving along US 87 between Fort Benton and Great Falls, as there could be some snow along your way, which definitely is dangerous. But that leads us into what we will be getting towards next. And there is actually a thunderstorm here. I didn't notice this. There is a thunderstorm here near Forsyth. It's not really rotation. It's not rotation. I really shouldn't be expecting rotation out here. But, I always have to watch. Just make sure. And no rotation with this storm, so hopefully it won't return. It's always possible, but let's hope it doesn't return. So, this moves us into the risk that we're seeing on Monday. We're seeing a risk for possible tornadoes on Monday that we'll eventually watch to see for some potential for tornadoes. And you'll have to see with me as I go along with what we're expecting for this system that will appear on Monday. So first of all, the SPC has issued that some severe weather may be possible in this general region in Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, and Mississippi, a marginal risk, which isn't very high, but the thing that we've definitely learned with this year, even the smallest risk can cause dangerous realities, such as damaging winds, hail, and even some tornadoes. We saw that with the damaging Wisconsin tornado in February. We saw that with the Sagerton, Texas tornado. We saw that with yesterday with the tornado in California. And we can actually take a look at that. Let me just get it set up real quickly. Sorry about that. But yeah, we do have a possibility for this storm that will occur across the period. And we will have to see what this system does. But let's look at that tornado that occurred yesterday. It was near Madera, California, and we did see that there was a tornado that had several footages on it, and it was on March 1st, 2024. There's a few videos on it. You can see there. Let me just see. I believe this video would be copyrighted, so we gotta.
Thing yet? That would be fun. Even seeing air.
Yeah, I'm just looking for possible. Okay, here's a good video. So here is a possible tornado that we saw, and just realize that this is somebody else's video. It's not mine. I'm just showcasing somebody else's video. This is by KCRA3. It's a news studio, and I no intention. I'm just using your video as a resource. No intention using your video as anything else. But you can see this is what we saw yesterday from a very small risk that definitely wasn't what we expected. And you could see there is ground circulation with the storm, so that definitely was a tornado that occurred in Central California. Definitely not what you expect, but this is a surprising risk that we have been seeing over the past few days, and it's with this one system that we will eventually see move into the area of California, not just California, but also into Louisiana and Mississippi and that general region in the deep south, which we saw with that marginal risk over here. There's another resource we can use to determine what this system exactly will do. Let's just get to that real quickly. I'm sorry, let me just get to the website, Next Lab Forecast. So you see, this risk is around 3 days away, and we're seeing some possibility with it, but let's look at the energy for this system. Let's look at the possible conditions in place for the system to grow, for thunderstorms to grow, and